So welcome back to my channel. So today, for the first time I think in a good couple of months, I'll be doing a get ready with me talk through video. I actually have a couple of hours without my children, so I thought, yes, I can get some filming done. So yeah, I'm sorry that I haven't done any in a while. It's just life in a caravan, life with working, life being a mother without family or a lot of friends here for help. It gets a little bit too much, so I'll just be able to film when I can, so that's what I'm doing now. Cool. Alright, so I'm starting off with clean face. I have cleansed, toned, moisturized, and all my serums, and I'm using a spot treatment for all my blemishes. Don't you love being female and hormonal? It's getting beyond a joke. I'm losing it with my skin. It's awful. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals Prime Time. This is a yellow based primer. This is designed to prime your skin as well as getting rid of any redness and discoloration. This one's quite a thick primer. I'm still not sure if I like it, but I'm going to give it a go for a while. Just going to put a little bit more around my hormonal area. So I'm just letting that primer sink in, and I'm actually going to move to the eyes now. I'm going to do I'm going to use the tape to do a winged liner with a sort of cat eye look, and I find that it's easiest to do the eyes first then to do your foundation. I find that when I use tape, if I have my foundation first, it always will take off too much under here, so I just think it's easier. Cool, I've got my tape on. I'm going to use the Balm's Put a Lid on It eye primer. So I don't always use an eye primer, but if I'm doing my eyes first without the primer with concealer, this is when I'll use an eye primer. Okay, for my eyes I'm actually going to use a Kat Von D's eye palette. It's got quite a lot of matte neutral shades. So I'm going to use the Jessup eyeshadow brush just with this neutral shade here, just to wipe all over the lids. That's going to set the eye primer as well as create a base for the rest of the shadows. And I'm taking this all over the eyelid and going up to the brow bone. I'm taking the Sigma E35 blending brush with this colour here and this one. I'm mixing the two, and I'm just going to use this as a transition colour to blend out some more darker colours I'll be using later. Can you guys hear the rain? It's miserable outside. It's sunny one second and it's raining the next. Starting at the outer corner, going all the way in, but I'm just doing one sort of movement. I'm not blending it down or anything like that. I'm just taking a more dense blending brush now, and this is from Jessup. I'm going to take this medium dark brown now. I'm just going to blend this in the crease exactly where we place the other colour. This is probably the negative about being in a caravan. I'm taking the Sigma E25 flat brush. I'm just using this to soften any harsh edges. I am taking the Sigma E45 brush. This is more of a pointed blending brush now, and I'm taking this dark brown colour here. I'm just going to focus this colour on the outer corners, doing really tiny movements. light and dipping back in to add more. Go wiping off any excess, and I'm just going to make sure I drag it in just a bit further into the crease. Just taking that HIII brush, we're just going to smooth out the edges once more. This is just a clean brush, there's no product on this one. Use that same pointed blending brush, but I'm actually going to use the black shade now. Just going to use a tiny little bit, just on the very tip. Not much at all. And I'm just going to darken just the outer bottom of the eye. I'm going to add this warmer brown shade here, just through the crease, just to add a little bit more to the eyes. I'm just going to follow that crease where we use a transition colour. And this will blend in all the dark shades as well, and adding just a little bit more warmth to the look. And I'm using very, very light movements as well. You can see the difference. I'm going to take this neutral colour here and just applying that to the lid. I'm going to take the Sigma E35 brush. I'm just going to go over the shadows to make sure it's all blended. I'm just going to add some more of this dark brown colour, just to deepen the outer corners. So I'm going to take that brush we've been using to blend out the edges with this white shade here. I'm going to use this to highlight under the brows. I'm going to use this Tarte Clay Black eyeliner. So I squeeze the liner on the back of my hand, paint it on. Doing eyeliner is like, can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. Okay, time to take off the tip. Next I'm actually going to do my foundation. I find that foundation gets in my eyebrows, so if I do my eyebrows first, it gets covered in foundation, so I'm going to do that a bit later. Cool, so I'm actually going to take the Benefit Perfecting Face Brush. It's got a little indent here where you put your drops in, and it's meant to spread out your foundation a bit more even, which is cool. So I'm actually going to use a Bare Minerals foundation, and this is in Bare Shell 02. I'm going to use 3 drops. I've already got 1 in there, 2, 3. I don't tend to put any foundation on my ears. Some people do. I think it's more when you fake tan, but I make sure I just blend it over. 2 small drops now to do the rest of the face. I just lightly blend under the eyes because we're going to conceal that later. Sorry that I'm not explaining too much. I haven't done too many talk through videos, so I guess I'm learning like everybody else when they start something new. Focus. I'm going to take my kit blending sponge just to make sure it's all blended. and I'm just doing very bouncy movements. I'm just taking one more extra pump, and I'm just going to dab this around my blemished area and just add a very light second layer. And just dabbing that on. Alright, so the base is done. I'm going to now take the HIIII Cosmetics Bye Bye Corrector, and this is in light. I'm just going to use my finger to apply this. So a corrector is designed to correct any uneven tones. So this isn't concealing it, it's just correcting. So I'm taking that all the way to the inner corner here. Sorry, it's my rude finger. We're not taking it too high that it's going to disrupt any of the eyeshadow. Can you see the difference? So many layers, right? So when I do my makeup every day, I do not go to this much effort, but today I just felt like playing around a little bit. I'm taking the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer, and this is in Fair. So I've just taken this concealer under my eyes, my forehead and my nose to conceal and highlight. And then I'm just going to dab a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm going to use the Jessup concealer brush. And just applying this to any blemishes that I'm going to conceal. Cool, I'm just going to use my face sponge now and blend that all in. So this concealer is a very light creamy concealer. It's quite a full coverage to hide blemishes, but it's also then not too heavy and then crease under the eyes. I'm so blurry. This whole video is going to be out of focus. Focus. Hi. Thank you. I'm using the Bums Cosmetics Kabuki brush, and I'm using it with this powder. Now, for the life of me, I cannot pronounce this. I don't even want to try because I'll look silly. This isn't universal, so I'm going to use this just to set my whole face. Setting your makeup is probably one of the most important steps other than primer to ensure that it's going to stick on and not slide around your face. And I'm going to fill in my brows now. I'm going to use the Bums Cosmetics Brow Power, and this is in the shade Dark. I'm going to be using this Morphe Angled B11 brush. I'm going to go over the brows with this Australis Tint My Brows in the shade Brown. I'm going to use the Balms Desert Bronzer. This is slightly lighter than the Bahama Mama that I usually use sometimes. I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush. Just apply this to the hollows of my cheeks. Again, starting lighter and then darkening up. Concentrating on the outer edge and then working it forward. You can see the difference what that makes. Just adds a bit of dimension to the face. Now we're going to lightly contour around the forehead. A little bit around the chin. And for my nose, I'm just going to squeeze the tip of it, and I'm going to add just the tiniest bit around my nose. For blush, I'm going to take this Jessup blush brush with Hot Mama from the Balm. For highlighter, I'm going to use this middle shade here from the Hourglass Ambient palette. I'm using a Jessup brush as well. With highlighter, you're wanting to put it on the highest points of your cheeks. I sort of go to just under the eye here. I don't want to take it all the way in, of course. A little bit on the edge of my brows, and then I use whatever's left just to blend it in the middle. because I get oily throughout the day in my T-zone, I don't want to apply too much highlighter because I don't want to look like an oil slick later. Tiny little bit on the edge of the nose, a little bit on the cupid's bow. I'm going to take this Mr. Right Now's eyeliner, and it's a dark green shade. I'm going to line my waterline and a shade from the Balm's Voyage palette, which is this dark green shimmery shade. I'm going to use just the brush that we used for that center of our lids. Just going to use the very tip of it to go under the eyes. I'm going to take this shade here with this Sigma E25 brush, and I'm just going to smoke out the lower lash line. I'm going to take this Australis Metallics eyeshadow. It's a creamy shimmering shade, creamy champagne shimmery shade. I'm going to just use my pinky finger and apply it to the inner corners. I'm going to use the Balm's Bodybuilder mascara. Got mascaras on. Next I'm going to take this Essence lip liner. Next I'm going to use this Colourpop liquid lipstick. I'm not sure the name of the shade, but it's got 07 on it. I got this in the mini kit pack. So this is the finished look. Into more of a sort of vampy look, which is really cool. It's funny how you have something in your head that you want to do and it turns out different. I was thinking doing a nude lip, and then I'm like, no, I want to do darker. I just think all the colours work well together. Thank you for watching.